All right, guys. Excuse me. All right, guys. Finally able to get this started. Hold on. Um. Okay, I guess first thing first. So y'all let me know y'all can hear me, and let me know y'all can see me. All right. And I apologize for the long wait. I actually should have probably did all this last night, but one of the reasons I'm late because I overslept. Shit, overslept, man. Just don't know what them cloudy days do to you. All right. So overslept. So that's one of the reasons why I'm late. They had to get up and rush and take care of some other things too. Um, so I apologize for that. All right. Okay. So y'all say y'all can hear me. Y'all can see me. All right. Um. I want to say something real quick. Hey, if y'all text me or send me messages and stuff like that and I don't get back to you, please don't take it as I'm doing it on purpose. Because trust me, I'm not doing it on purpose. For those of you who probably personally know me, that probably talk to me or text me on a regular. Y'all know a lot of times when y'all text me and stuff like that, where 9 times out of 10 I be at work. So a lot of stuff I probably do get it, but I probably been to forget to respond, and the messages be sitting there, and I probably get it late. So please don't take it as I'm being a dick to y'all. Okay, so uh, yeah, so my bad on that. Okay, internet. All right, but let's get right into it. All right. All right, guys. Oh, what up, brother Brian? What's going on? Didi, what's going on? Happy New Year to each and every last one of y'all. Uh, Hopefully, the New Year's will start off good with a lot of you, but unfortunately, it's not starting out good with a lot of people. Bless their heart. Prayers out to them. Okay. Uh, this is one of the stories. This is why I preach to y'all people. Let's not water down mental illness because it is real. It's real. I just hate that a lot of people make a mockery out of it, try to use it, get out of stuff that they do. But other than that, though, like stories like these, I mean, it is real out there. So uh, don't water it down, don't dumb it down. And if you're somebody who dealing with it, please, my best advice to you, if somebody's offering you help, please take it. Please take it. Or, hey, please take it upon yourself and get help. I mean, especially if you have children because they look up to you, to care for them until they're able to care for themselves. Amen. So please, if you or someone is dealing with this, even though they still got the right to refuse help, if you can, man, just please reach out a hand and try to help or whatnot, or try your best to keep encouraging them to uh, get help because it is real out here. We have people who came my chat room and say they deal with it, autism and things like that. They got children that they dealing with, you know, with all this type of stuff, and people don't ask to they don't ask to have this stuff. They don't ask to have it, Just unfortunate for a lot of them. People, they end up with some kind of mental development or mental disability or whatever the case may be. And I've been in the field for over 15 years, so I've seen it. I've seen it all, and sometimes it hurts your heart to see them people to go through what they go through. And how a lot of people look at them because they don't know what's going on. You know, and it is sad. It is real sad, man. But anyway, we have a story here. Speaking of mental illness, we have a story here. We have a mother by the name of, let me see if I'm saying her name right. Monica Cannady. If I said the name right, Monica Cannady. Now, the story's been put out there that her and her children was walking around, if I'm not mistaken, for what I read, barely clothed. She was walking around, knocking on people's doors, asking for food. I think people were trying to help. I think one guy said he tried to give her money. She didn't want to take the money or whatnot, and he said she just walked off, and they saw her like walking up and down the street, things like that. Then next thing you know, took her to an open field, told the children to lay down and rest, and once they rested, they didn't wake back up. Now, however, though, there was a little girl involved in this too, but she has survived, for what I gathered, and she's in the hospital being treated now for hypothermia. All right. You said, good afternoon. I am here listening in the hospital with family member. Oh, wow. My thing is they can't claim no mental health issue if they ain't medicated or seeing professional. I hate that excuse. Do you say if you ain't trying to go and get help or seek help, or I might sound callous. It might sound harsh. I'm sick or tired of them family members coming out or whatnot. Okay. But yeah, that's the story that's given on this one. They saying it was a mental health crisis, and something about she felt like somebody was trying to kill her and things like this. But I'm gonna let y'all hear for yourself, and maybe trigger for some for people who probably got family members that's dealing with this or whatnot. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what's going on.
Just unbelievably tragic as we learn more about this situation. We understand that the mom you referenced there, 35-year-old Monica Cannady, was suffering some sort of mental health crisis. It started about 3 weeks ago. The family was trying to get her and her 3 children help, but it really just hit a tragic point on Friday when the kids and her were wandering around Pontiac, barely close.
And that's sad to me right there, and I hate to pause real quick, but that's sad to me right there because we hear a lot of stories where the families say they do be trying to get them help, but they turn down help. You don't want to know why, because a lot of them feel like ain't nothing wrong with them, so they don't get help. And we hear this time and time again. I don't know if anybody in my chat room got anybody in their family that's dealing with mental health issues, but I'm pretty much sure there's probably been a time or two that you try to get them help and they keep refusing it because they really truly believe that there's nothing wrong with them. They believe that what they're doing is normal, and a lot of times that is furthest from the truth, that it's not normal. And that's why I say, you can't force them to get help, but you can try to encourage them to get help. And if this is the case that this family tried to get this woman help, that's saddening me more, because again, I'm like you, Sarah, not to sound harsh or whatnot, this could have been prevented if she just went ahead and got help and let the family get the kids and she got herself situated. But, let's go.
And it ended yesterday with Monica and her 2 young children, 2 little boys, found dead, frozen to death in a field.
It kills me. I don't know what to say.
All weekend, Andre Harston and his family were searching for his sister and her 3 kids. 3 weeks ago, 35-year-old Monica Cannady started slipping into a never-before-seen mental health crisis.
She was always...
Now, I'm curious about that now. Y'all heard that now. I'm curious about that. They say they never seen this before. So apparently she never had no health crisis before. All right. So, Sarah, when you said what you said earlier, I can't get mad at your comment because I wanted y'all to hear that. They are saying that they never seen this before. Now I'm going to say this right here. I have heard other stories that people say they never seen this before, or they never seen them acting weird where they was around. But like I always say, guys, keep in mind, even though they saying they did not see it, you don't know what's going on behind them closed doors. You just don't know. But however, though, you got to think about this too, all right? And this ain't no shade to the family. I'm just speaking in general. A lot of time the reason people don't know what's going on with people because you don't go over there and check on them. I'm guilty on that too because my mom called me all the time, say I don't call her and let her know I'm okay and all this, then, and third. I get it. So I'm guilty of that too. I can put myself in that category. But a lot of time with a lot of these families, the reason y'all know what's going on with them because y'all don't go check on them. You know what I'm saying? Half you want to deal with them, and I guess for your reasons why you don't want to deal with them, hey, whatever's going on with the family, that's between y'all. If it could be fixed, let it be fixed. Some people feel like situations can't be fixed. I guess that's understandable too, But I can speak on this because I don't check on my mom or whatever, whatnot. Like I guess I probably should do. So right now, if somebody were to ask me what she doing, I wouldn't know because I don't talk to her like that, so I get it, so again, over here, I don't know how everybody else do it, but over here, I like to look at all angles of everything. And again, this ain't no shade to this family. I don't know what's the relationship like with the brother or whoever else in the family, but according to what they said in the beginning, people was trying to get her help. So, but of course, I got to say this too. Hey, Larissa, what's up, babe? But of course, I got to say this too. And this may sound harsh. Please forgive me. Okay, and I think somebody just said that. Please don't wait till something happened to your family, then try to come out on the camera and talk about how good of a person they was when they was alive. All right? Because we like to be around good people, as far as I know. We like to be around good people. And if this person was just a good of a person, then why not every now and again pick up the phone, call, check on them, go over there, knock on the door, say, hey, what's up? Hey, and go over there, knock on the door, hey, I'm finna go to the store. You want something from the store? You want a sandwich or something? Hey, here you go. They were just a good of a person, But then again, I got to put myself in that category too because I don't do it either. But, but maybe that's something that we probably need to start thinking about doing, Start waiting till people die and trying to say how nice of a person that they was, And when a lot of times this nice person, none of y'all never really fuck with them like that, But you want to get on camera and talk about how nice they was. So, yeah.
So bright, always working, taking care of kids.
10-year-old Lilly, 9-year-old Kyle, and 3-year-old Malik following their mom, wearing nothing to shield them from the cold temperatures, leaving their Pontiac apartment wandering since Friday.
She believed someone was trying to kill her and that everybody was in on it. It was a conspiracy, so including the police.
On Saturday, sometime she led the kids here on foot near Branch and Gillespie, knocking on doors asking for food.
Tried to give the young lady some money, and she wouldn't accept it. So they left there and they come down the walk.
Then the family went into this overgrown field near Crystal Lake later on Saturday.
Mom told them to lay down and rest, and they all laid down in the field. The girl that survived woke up. No one else did. Investigators
say Lilly grabbed her mom's coat and ran to the nearest house for help Sunday afternoon.
It's so scary. I just couldn't imagine how she felt.
After that 911 call, deputies would soon discover the bodies of Monica, Kyle, and Malik. They froze to death. Lilly is still in the hospital recovering from hypothermia.
They was amazing, so smart, and it's just so sad that they were so young. They didn't even get to experience life yet.
It's unclear what triggered his sister's mental state. The children's father was murdered in 2021, and that trial is happening now. But the claims of anyone following Monica and the kids are unfounded, according to the sheriff's office.
I wouldn't blame her. I just want to know what happened? What was in her system? Like, I need answers to that so I can know what type of state of mind she was on. It's never, ever have been her.
That brave little girl, Lilly, just amazing that she was able at 10 years old to listen to her intuition and run for help to save herself. She is expected to be okay, still in the hospital, though. When she is released, she'll be released to the care of family. There is a fundraising page set up to, of course, help Lilly throughout this awful time and to pay for those funerals. More information on our website. For now, reporting live, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Incredible little girl, Jessica. But you know, when you hear this, what's so tough is that some of these mental health episodes can be so unpredictable like this, and no one really knows how bad it is or severe until it's too late.
And that's really what the sheriff, Michael Bouchard, talked about earlier today. You know, if the family would have known the right numbers to call, maybe this could have had a different outcome, but definitely a learning experience here that there are resources out there. Again, we'll push to the website. There's a lot of numbers you can call for yourself and family if they are suffering.
Brian, I like what you said right there. And see, that's what I say in the beginning before I started the show. You don't water down mental illness. It is a real thing. It's nothing to joke about. It's nothing to be played with. But however, though, you in the same boat as I am. My only problem is when people try to fake it. You know how you get a lot of these people who do the shit that they do and then turn around and try to claim insanity? You know, shit like that. You know, that would make it hard for a lot of people not to believe it. You know? So, when it comes to stories like this, a lot of times, I'm not going to come out and say yay or nay because I wasn't there. I didn't live with this woman. I don't know what this woman was going through. I don't know if the family really fuck with that woman like that or if they even really care for that woman like that. I don't know. I can't sit up here and say yay or nay. Okay? But however, though, hearing what we're hearing with this and how they keep saying she never done this before, that puzzles me. Not saying that it can't happen, but that puzzles me. Okay? Because if she never done this before, did I have to agree with the brother? You know, I would want answers too. You know, I mean, did somebody spike her drink or something? Did somebody give her a laced pill or something? What happened to make her hallucinate like that? Okay? What make her hallucinate like that? All right? So if the family members do come across this live, I want y'all to understand it's nothing aimed towards y'all, you know. But even y'all have to say that in the era that we live in now, a lot of us just don't mess with people like we probably should. We don't check on family like we pretty should. Family members like we probably should. And again, I put myself in that same bowl. We don't. Okay? And a lot of times, it ain't because we got something against them, anything like that, you know. Just a lot of times when we grow up, we just grow distant from each other, you know. And probably every now and again, probably get a call, what up, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, stuff like that. But other than that, though, you probably won't hear from probably for a good while. What the old folks say back in the day, you hear from every once in a blue moon. I think that's how they say it. You hear from every once in a blue moon. Or the worst case scenario is something like this. You don't hear from somebody when they want something. Now, that shit right there, that will make people want to start fucking with family members, period. Because you don't call me when you want something, you know. And that right there, that could be a trick one right there. Hey, I love you, but stop calling me. Pretty much stop calling me when I get paid. Amen. Stop calling me when I get paid. Stop looking at me as when I get paid, it's time you get paid too. No. I mean, we all need help. And then on top of that, how many of y'all had this happen to y'all before? And I'm pretty much sure every one of y'all in the chat room probably could say this. You always helping out people, but when it's time for you to get help, nobody ain't around. How many of y'all have been through that? I know I have. You always helping people, but when it's time for you to get help, they never around, or they never got it, or they never can do it. And I know every time if I ask you for some help, it can't be a coincidence that you ain't got it. It can't be a coincidence that you don't do it, that you can't do it. Okay? So, you say I moved my mom and granny in with me. I love to have my family close. All right, mamas, baby. All right. Amen, amen, amen. Well, yeah, because I got my uncle and my daddy. They staying with me right now. You know? Like I said, didn't have the best relationship with my dad. But, you know, I don't hold no malice towards him, no hatred towards him and whatnot. You know, I'm 42 years old, finna be 43 next month. You know, I mean, a lot of that stuff, like I said, us as men, and Brian, you tell me if I'm telling the truth about this or not. A lot of us as men, what we go through with our families, you know, a lot of times we soak it up, we just don't speak about it. We don't speak about it, you know. And, you know, a lot of times we say, man, I would never do anything for y'all because I don't fuck with y'all like that. But then, you know, something happens, we probably don't want to see them like that. We still help them out, even though against our, I guess I don't want to say the term better judgment. I'll just say against what we stated before. You know, we would never do anything for y'all, but we still end up doing it for them. You know, because again, we don't want to see nothing bad happen to them, even though the relationship wasn't good. We don't want nothing bad to happen to them. Okay? All right? But at the same time, I would say this right here. You have your own spot, though. You move people in. Shit. You have your own spot, boy. I'm telling you, you having it. You having it. You know? So, mama's baby, you know, bless your heart. Especially with the grandmama. You know, I know sometimes they could be a lot, too, with the grandmamas because they the elders. They could be a lot sometimes, depending on what they're going through. They could be a lot sometimes, so bless your heart. Okay? Bless your heart. But anyway, get back to the topic at hand. You know, I mean, where they can go with this, what we're talking about right here. You know, everybody's saying they never seen this before. They never seen her act strange before. But these last few weeks, she just kind of been acting out of character. You know, so yeah. And blessings to that baby. You know, that little baby. Oh shit! Hold on. The little baby survived this, grabbed her mom's coat, and went and let somebody know that something was not right. Okay? Something ain't right, all right? I got custody of my grandbaby now. You put an F right there. I don't know what the F stands for. I'm kind of scared to ask you what the F stands for. Unless that was a typo. Wait a minute, hold on, wait. Somebody said, yeah, I have no friends and barely talk to any family. I have a 23-year-old who's in my corner. All right. All right, guys, so let's get in deeper to this and let's see how deep this rabbit hole go. And if you haven't, please hit that thumbs up for your boy. You know, and if you got some people who might want to listen to this, bring them on in, let them listen to this. You know, y'all know YouTube fucking with my notifications, so that's why I don't really get nobody up in here like I used to.
Now to new information in a horrifying case.
They would get that notification shit fixed because this don't make no damn sense. I talked to other YouTube the other day saying the same thing happened to them. You know, people claim that they didn't get their notification and things like that. I be like, hell, you doing better than me? Because, shit, you had at least about 50 or something in your chat room, whatnot. Other people had about 100 or some people in their chat room. Shit, I used to have about 50 or 60 some people in my chat room. Shit.
Now to new information in a horrifying case that continues to unfold in Pontiac.
Tonight, the brother of the woman found dead in the cold with her 2 young children is speaking out about what happened and how mental illness played a role. Jacqueline Francis is in Westland, where she caught up with the brother late this afternoon. Jacqueline?
Kimberly and Devin, a few days later, and the shock has not faded. Monica's friends and family tell me that there were no warning signs until the very end, when she began acting paranoid and refused to get help when family tried to intervene.
I really want answers to figure out what was in her system, if somebody may have put something in her, because that's not her.
Monica Cannady's younger brother, Andre, still can't wrap his head around what happened. Monica and her 2 young kids froze to death in a field in Pontiac over the weekend. Investigators say Monica told her 3 young kids to lie down with her. Only her 10-year-old daughter, Lilly, would survive. Andre's nephews, 9-year-old Kyle and 3-year-old Malik, died alongside their mom.
They were smart, so smart. And it was getting so big.
Andre says his sister was a great mom.
She took care of them babies. That was her main priority. Them kids.
But recently, Monica hadn't been acting like herself. Family describing her as extremely paranoid.
Her talking to herself and saying that she felt like there was microchips in the phone, so she walked over to her house to talk to her instead of calling her. Like, that's not my sister. My sister got a brand new car, she got an apartment. Everybody I see on Facebook bashing, saying that she was homeless. She's not homeless.
Monica's apartment was just over a mile from the field where they found her. It was the
you
surviving
say that somebody microchip?
Like,
her as extreme.
her main priority, them kids.
But recently, Monica hadn't been acting like herself. Family describing her as extremely paranoid.
Her talking to herself and saying that she felt like there was microchips in the phone, so she walked over to her house to talk to her instead of calling her. Like, that's not my sister. My sister got a brand new car, she got an apartment. Everybody I see on Facebook bashing, saying that she was homeless. She's not homeless.
Monica's apartment was just over a mile from the field where they found her. It was the surviving 10-year-old daughter, Lilly, who ran for help. She remains in the hospital being treated for hypothermia.
We got to put all our love into Lilly right now. That's all we can do, is just love and love and love on her.
Again, Monica's family said they were trying to get her that mental health help that she needed, but then she disappeared and then she was found dead. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, there are resources available. We have those numbers on our website, clickondetroit.com. Reporting live in Westland, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
It's so heartbreaking. Okay, Jacqueline, thank you.
And I'm glad that lady said that at the end. She said there's resources out there to get people help. And like I said in one of my last videos, people I guess it pinched them a little bit when I did the show about people getting out of domestic abuse relationships. You had a couple people come in the comment section say, I like how people try to make it sound so easy to do that or whatnot. I look, I would never say anything is easy to get out of. Nothing goes cold turkey, But at the same time, I will preach this too. Only you know when you're tired. So when you in a abuse relationship and this man or woman constantly hitting on you and this, then the third, only you know when you're tired and want to get out that situation. Only you know when you're tired. My thing is, don't wait too late, all right? And then try and get out of it, and then things get worse and worse, all right? And then I also want to preach, if you can get out of it, get out of it. And get out of it. That's all the message I was pushing. I never been in no domestic relationship. I ain't trying to go there with no woman at all. I don't really think it's that serious, even though I think a lot of women do provoke me. And oh, Lord knows I do. I've been there before. I actually had a female tip in my lifetime, I do things, try to see how far I can go with you. I'm like, why would you do that? That's a bad idea. Why would you do that? And I think that's a bad idea with anybody. All right? Don't try to poke people and bring the other side out of them, because you're going to wish you hadn't. You're going to wish you hadn't. Okay? You're going to wish you hadn't. So y'all like to play these games, talk about I do shit, try to make somebody jealous, or I do shit, try to see how far I can go, or I say stuff to see what their reaction going to be. Okay, when you get their reaction, don't cry wolf. Amen? When you get their reaction, do not cry wolf. All right? Because you played with fire and you got burnt. All right. And I just was shocked when she told me that. She said, I do want to say stuff to see how far can I go with you. Why would you do that? Why? And then when I do go off, you're going to start telling folks I'm a bad person. Don't fuck with me because I'm a bad person because it's something that you done did. Because something you done did. You poked at me to make me go off, but then you want to go out and tell people I'm a bad person. Come on now. It don't work like that. Because if I'm such a bad person, you would never fuck with me in the first place. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all be careful with that poking the bear shit, because trust me, you ain't going to like the outcome of it. You ain't going to like the outcome of it. Now, to get on to what he was saying. He said the lady was claiming there were microchips in her phone and things like that. But again, he said the family never seen her act like that before too recently. About a couple of weeks recently, her behavior was looking strange. Okay? Her behavior was looking strange. This come from all of a sudden. Okay? Now, if it is drugs involved, or she was doing something that the folks didn't know, and if that baby girl who survived see it, hopefully she would talk and say, hey, I did see mama do this and see mama do that, and he can give us a better understanding of what's going on here, and maybe he can clear his head up, okay, where maybe my sister was dibbing and dabbing in certain type of stuff, and she just got a hold of a bad one and it fucked her up, you know. But also, I want to say this to him as well, and I want to say this in general, not just to him. I just want to say this in general. Just because you got a car, a new house, a new apartment, something like that, to be honest, a lot of times that don't mean a damn thing. And the reason I'm saying that is because you could have it all and still be sad and still not be satisfied. Amen? You can have it all and still won't be satisfied with a lot of people. Now, a lot of people are grateful that they have the luxury to get a new car, to get a new apartment, and to get a new house, and this, that, and the third. Some of them are grateful to get that stuff. But you got some that get all that and still are not happy and not satisfied. They always feel like there's something still missing. And a lot of times, for what we hear in society today, it be companionship. Amen? A lot of times it be companionship. You got all this stuff and you had nobody to share it with. At least that's what it says in a lot of these R&B songs. You got all of this, but you ain't got nobody to be there with you while you got all this. Somebody to share this with you, somebody who can feel happy with you, or let alone somebody who can feel happy for you. Amen? And with that, I can understand. I can understand it. But if you somebody like me, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I can have all of this and be cool with myself. Because like I say, with me, less stress, less mess. All right? If you by yourself, you alone, nobody can sit up and bring your name into stuff and say, you did this, you did that. No, I didn't do this and do anything because I wasn't there. I was to myself. All right? I can do that. But I understand a lot of people probably get this stuff and say, hey, you know, I wish somebody was here with me. I mean, that's understandable too. I don't know nobody for that. Ray Edwards said, why people quit to say drug abuse? Why can't it be anxiety or mental issues? My condolences to the family. Well, that's a good question. And I don't know how long you've been listening to the show because I've been addressing both sides of the card with that. You know, well, for one, if you listen to what the family is saying, they keep saying that they never seen this before. That's not like her or whatnot, especially the brother. The brother said he won't answer that. Even he's saying the same thing, you know, hey, is it drugs or anything like that, you know, because that wasn't her. She loved them babies. She this, that, and the third, you know, so even he's questioning it. Now, the thing about her being homeless, I don't know where this coming from. I really don't, you know, because I seen something on Facebook, a dude who says he's a friend of hers. He said, look, man, I can tell y'all she wasn't homeless. He said there's a lot of, and she didn't tell her business like that, you know. And he said a lot of things she told me, it would never be repeated. And I said, I can respect him for that. Even with she being gone, he said a lot of stuff that we talked about, you would not hear it again because that was a conversation between me and her. You know, and I said, you know, I can't do nothing but respect him for that. I can't. But however, though, if you're getting on camera and telling the public this is the first time that you've seen this, that you never seen this before, every time I was around, she act this way, she act that way, or he act this way, or he act that way, then you can't knock nobody for thinking that's the first thing right there. Was it drugs? Anybody would think that's the first thing. Drugs. Okay? Even for me. Nobody never seen me act like that before, doing things like that, you know, and for people who know me personally. If they come out and say, you know, Chris, people pacing around, talking to himself, looking at a blank TV screen, like he talking to a person, this, that, and the third, that would be the first thing that would come to their mind was Chris doing drugs that we didn't know nothing about. So I don't knock nobody for saying that at all, because that would be the first thought in anybody's mind. Okay? So I don't knock nobody for that. Okay? So, yeah. That'll be the first thing right there. You say anxiety and, again, you say anxiety and mental issues. Again, according to the family, you know, they never seen her have none of this stuff. None of it. But I say to you, sir, that is a good question. That is a good question. And I understand your question. But even you know, that's not the first thing people are going to jump to and say it was anxiety. Maybe schizophrenia. But even if you say that, people still going to say, what, did she take any kind of drug? Thank you, Brian. You just don't wake up with that. You just don't. Exactly. So, I mean, hey, a lot of you may not like it when people jump to their first conclusion, but me personally, it's understandable. It's understandable why would they jump to their first conclusion. You know, but you with that, but the thing about the homeless, I don't know how homeless would make her think somebody got a microchip or something in the phone with things like that, but, you know, but at the end of the day, like I always say, over here, a lot of stuff that I say or y'all may say in the chat room is all speculation. That's all it is. Nothing will be ever true until they come out with the evidence to say X, Y, and Z. Okay? And I want y'all to understand that. Don't take none of my programs or shows and say what I said is factual. Unless I got concrete proof and provided y'all concrete proof that this lady was on drugs, she was on heroin, she smoked some of that bad stuff or anything, because I don't have the evidence to prove anything of that. Can I speculate? Yes, I can speculate. But I wouldn't know the truth unless they come out with the evidence and say it's been proven that this happened. Or another case scenario, I actually stayed with the woman and I seen it for myself. All right, is that fair? Is that fair? Right, single mom. I mean, people always gonna throw drugs up in there regardless. So I mean, hey. But yeah. But if I ain't got the evidence, I'm not gonna tell you everything. I'm not gonna tell you anything that I'm saying is true. I'm only giving you what's being put out there. Okay? I'm only giving you what's being put out there. All right, guys, y'all know me. I'm a big fan of a police conference, and I do have a police conference here, and we're gonna, I guess, hear from what they saw, and not sure they giving they speculate what they think might happen, or may have happened, but here's a story from our view.
Yes, sir.
Oh hell, gotta get past the ad first. Okay.
An incredibly sad day on so many levels, but I'm joined today by the mayor of Pontiac, Tim Greimel, City Councilwoman Melanie Rutherford. We also have Kristen Blevins from Common Ground, and she can answer questions as it relates to what we'll talk about in a minute, and also Adam Genovi, who is the Chief Operating Officer from Oakland Community Health Network. And the reason I asked members from Common Ground and from the Health Network to be here was this tragedy is fundamentally evidentiary of the breakdown of our mental health system in America. We don't give our mental health providers and systems enough support and have enough resources at their fingertips for a full continuum of services. They do an amazing job with what they have, but I've been saying for years on the federal and state level that they've walked away from so much funding and key funding of programs, going back to when I was a senator and they discontinued funding of Lafayette Clinic and Clinton Valley and a host of other kinds of mental health services. And this tragedy was based in a mental health crisis. We had a situation where at approximately 3:10 p.m. our deputies were dispatched in the area of the 200 block of Branch Street, and they were told that a 10-year-old girl knocked on a door and said that her family was dead in a field. And so deputies fanned out and began to search the area, which was formerly the Lakeside housing projects. There's a large amount of vacant fields in that area, and tragically they located the deceased mom, a 35-year-old mother, and her two sons, ages 3 and 9. And so thankfully the young girl managed to survive. She's still hospitalized. She's in stable condition with hypothermia, kinds of conditional symptoms, if you will. Again, the mother is Monica Cannady. She's 35. The sons are Kyle and Malik, and aged 9 and 3. The 10-year-old daughter, as I said, is in the hospital in stable condition. Our detectives immediately began to work the investigation, determine obviously the cause and what were the factors that led up to that situation where the tragedy occurred. They interviewed family members and a host of other folks, and fundamentally it breaks down to this was a mental health crisis. The woman, the mom, was having a mental health crisis. She believed someone was trying to kill her, and that everybody was in on it. It was a conspiracy, so including the police were in on this, trying to kill her. Family members attempted to get her help, but she refused, and she fled with the children. So over the course of a couple days, we actually had been getting calls about a woman and kids not dressed appropriately for the conditions. Deputies would go there, look all through the area, and couldn't find anybody. We later learned from the surviving daughter that she had told her kids anytime anybody approached to run. So ultimately they were in the field. she told the kids to lay down and sleep, and unfortunately that's where they perished. Child Protective Services is involved now. They went to the hospital to check on the child, and when the daughter's discharged from the hospital, she'll be turned over to parental care. Again, incredibly sad on so many levels. Cause of death was determined by an autopsy today. Hypothermia, the determination that the death was accidental. But I would put accidental / preventable. We have more conversations, sometimes tough conversations that it takes.
You heard that? Accidental but preventable. You know, but of course you're gonna get people gonna get mad at that too. And which he's telling the truth, you know. I mean, it could be prevented. And I'm pretty much sure he's saying it in this sense right here. She could have got help with people offering her help when the family tried to get her help instead of refusing. She could have got the help or whatnot. So, but of course, you know, people gonna take it, they gonna run with it too, talk about this being insensitive and shit like that. But I got no problem with what he said.
Strength to ask for help. It's not weakness, and that it's encouraged, and we have more available mental health services to everybody. I think it will go a long way. All across society, we're seeing more and more people that are anxious, depressed. We're responding daily to suicides and overdoses. And oftentimes, overdoses are self-medication. And so basically, we're seeing death every day as a result of the mental health crisis in this country. And it sure would be nice if Washington and Lansing tuned in on that. So as we move forward, you know, that's going to be our message. We're going to try to push some of that into the community. With me, as I said, we have some of the resources that are available, and they can speak to it. I don't know if either of you want to say anything first. Whoever wants to go first. So I asked them to come again to speak to the resources, the mental health resources and the support services that we have. In Oakland County, we're blessed to have dedicated, great people. But as I said, so many of these things are underfunded. We'd like to have more crisis intervention at the sheriff's office, more partnership with mental health. And we have some of the best partnerships in the country. We've been recognized as exemplary with our partnerships with Common Ground and our diversion to get mentally challenged, mental health challenges, moments from people that are in that crisis to go to counseling rather than to jail. And on so many levels, we do things that almost no one does, but there can be so much more, and this is evidence of it. So, Adam, from Community Mental Health Network.
Pardon me. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to come here and speak today on this tragedy, and I'll just share a few things with you. Oakland Community Health Network stands ready to meet the needs of the community. We have a very wide array of services and supports. We have services and supports for people who are insured all the way to underinsured and uninsured. So a couple ways that people could get to us is through our access and crisis lines. So we have our non-emergency access phone number, which is 248-464-6363. We also have our customer service phone number, which is 800-341-2003. Now, the customer service line is one that I really want to share with you because that's one that anyone could call at any point, and they could talk about something that's going on in their life or in the life of a family member. And we've got some really excellent, dedicated, trained staff on that line, ready to answer the questions and then provide any resources that we would have from people who are currently involved in the system to people who would like entry or would need a higher level of service. We also have a significant amount of community crisis services available for the people that we serve. And then we have our community partner here, Common Ground, who's going to speak about that a little bit further.
Could you give us spell your name and your title so we have it, please?
Yeah, my name's Adam, last name is Genovai, Genovai. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Oakland Community Health Network.
And next up is Kristen Blevins from Common Ground.
Hello, thank you for inviting us to speak. I am the manager of our mobile crisis team over at Common Ground. My name is Kristen Blevins, as you heard. I'm here to talk a little bit about the different opportunities that we have for people who are in acute crisis within the county. The nice thing that we provide is the opportunity to connect you not only within our specific organization, but throughout the county to other core providers. So if we can't specifically help you, then we can connect you to other core providers because we are part of Oakland County Health Network. The best way to utilize our services is to either come in, and we're open 24/7. Our lobby, we have clinicians who can do assessments. We connect you to different resources. We also have the opportunity to receive phone calls. Our line is 24/7. The resource and crisis help line would be the best way to call us. That's an 800 number, 800-231-1127. And again, you can be connected to someone to just discuss your crisis. We can help you process it. We can connect you to different resources. We encourage you to come in if there's a need. We have some of our services that we offer are our mobile crisis unit, obviously. We can go out into the community and meet you wherever you are in the middle of your crisis. We have our crisis hotline 24/7. We have our CRU, our crisis unit, where you can stay for up to 2 weeks. We have our new urgent care, behavioral health urgent care. That's all telehealth, so we have lots of different opportunities, and however we can help, we would love to be there for someone who's in crisis. So, and it doesn't have to be just for yourself. If you notice someone else who is in crisis, for example, in this specific instance, please feel free to call us, and our mobile unit can go out. We can encourage someone to come in. We have many different options. So,
what is the address of your office?
So we are actually just right around the corner, and we're 1200 North Telegraph, Building 32E, just right across the street.
It's behind the health department, right on campus here.
As I've learned about this woman, I understand she went through so much trauma.
Yeah.
That her children's dad had been murdered, and the trial was underway.
I forgot to bring that to y'all attention too.
Have a history of severe mental health crisis. A couple family members didn't know of anything in the past. How that.
I forgot to bring that to y'all attention too. The father of them children was just murdered in 2021. And
we'll talk about it in a minute. And also Adam Genovi,
and
is the
trial for their case
officer
is
from
going on.
Oakland
It's
Community
about to get on its way
Health
on
Network.
that.
Getting help, or was she on anybody's radar?
Suicides outstrip go beyond.
My
that to
bad, I
bring
didn't mean to
this
do that.
into
Y'all
the
lost the
fold.
damn spot.
But that's not
our mobile crisis unit, obviously. We can go out into the community and meet you wherever you are in the middle of your crisis. We have our crisis hotline 24/7. We have our CRU, our crisis unit, where you can stay for up to 2 weeks. We have our new urgent care, behavioral health urgent care. That's all telehealth, so we have lots of different opportunities, and however we can help, we would love to be there for someone who's in crisis. So, and it doesn't have to be just for yourself. If you notice someone else who is in crisis, for example, in this specific instance, please feel free to call us, and our mobile unit can go out. We can encourage someone to come in. We have many different options. So,
what is the address of your office?
So we are actually just right around the corner, and we're 1200 North Telegraph, Building 32E, just right across the street.
It's behind the health department, right on campus here.
As I've learned about this woman, I understand she went through so much trauma.
Yeah.
That her children's dad had been murdered, and the trial was underway. Can you talk about, as someone's going through such trauma, even if they don't have a history of severe mental health crisis, a couple family members didn't know of anything in the past, how
that could definitely cause a crisis.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the wonderful things about Common Ground and why I came to work for Common Ground in the first place is we don't get to define what crisis is. So if you feel that you're in a crisis, if someone in your immediate family or your friends notice that something is off, then you could be in crisis. You can call, you can send a referral, and then we can go and we can help and we can connect to those different resources. And the unique thing that our follow-up services offer is we can help you navigate through the system, because as simplified as we try to make things, if you don't speak this language, it can be tricky. So having that ability to guide you through the system and connect to different options is invaluable.
Sheriff, can I ask you a follow-up question?
Sure.
We know that this happens in communities all over America, especially in these cold winter months. And there's a lot of policies in place in various police departments. Is there anything here specifically you'd like to see be done policy-wise to maybe see if there's more that deputies can do to help prevent this situation, or really what else can police officers do in this situation to help someone like this?
Well, we're already proactive, so we'll look for people, or if we see people. We have a lot of programs. We run a Coats for the Cold, where we collect thousands of coats every year. We just concluded that. Now they're in the process of being given out. We have gloves and mittens oftentimes in the cars. Our deputies are alert to not having appropriate clothing, and they talk to kids. And so our Pontiac substations especially focused on that, because you'll often see folks out in the street of the community that may not have the resources or those situations. We partner with some of the shelters and with the mental health community. So if it's just homelessness, and I say just because that's a massive challenge on its own, but if it's homelessness and not necessarily a mental health component, then we'll seek to connect them with a shelter or some other kinds of services. If it's got a dual componency, like where mental health plus homelessness, which often is the case, that's sometimes what leads to the homelessness, then we'll partner with our mental health providers and look for process on this. And I'm coming back to the state and federal government. This has to be a priority, and they have to be giving non-encumbered grants to communities. It's so important to me. A year and a half ago, we had to cut our budget by $1.3 million at the sheriff's office. And in that moment, I actually cut more than that, and then added back 2 positions that are strictly focused on mental health. We have a mental health practitioner that is embedded with our Pontiac substation that goes to calls, and we have a peer-to-peer person that's full-time that focuses on mental health internally and also partners on external. So that's the kind of priority I made it. Even when I had to cut a big chunk of money, I felt we needed to go beyond that to bring this into the fold. But that's not clearly optimal. We need to have that broadly based, and the state and the federal government could have a wider array of services and continuum services than is available. And through grants and a process, there's a way to get there. I also want to add that she went behind me. We have County Commissioner Angela Powell from Pontiac, represents Pontiac here. She was over there, and she moves quickly.
Sheriff, could we get back to Monica Cannady and her children? What do we know about them? Where did they live, or where were they living? When did they start wandering and door knocking for food and the like?
Well, they have an apartment. I think most of this crisis was based on our preliminary information, was based on a mental health crisis. They had housing, and they had family that cared. So, and friends as well. So, again, I'm really trying to drive home the point that it's so ever present these days, mental health challenges. I know our deputies at the scene are having, issues themselves, having to deal with kids and mom, and the totality of that, and it's in everything. Like in the last 2 years, police officer suicides outstripped the line of duty deaths. So you're seeing it in all walks of society and in the community, and we're trying to address it, but that's obviously not our main wheelhouse. We're trying to bring in more resources. We're doing more and more training. We're pushing out, as I said, embedded mental health practitioners with our patrol deputies, but it needs to have a higher level of attention on state and federal funding.
What do we know about her family and their attempts to get her help? And was it that she was just not interested in getting help? Or was she on anybody's radar with the resources that are available? Was she on the radar, and what was being done to help her?
Apparently the family was trying to get her into help, trying to get her committed and get some help, and she refused and fled. So she wasn't even at her apartment.
Can you provide some specifics if you have them on the timeline, meaning had this been over the course of days or weeks in terms of family trying to help, and had she been out with her kids?
At least a few days, but I don't know if it was beyond that. One of the investigators is here.
The mother said that she had noticed a change for about 3 weeks, and that she noticed that she showed up to the house on Friday with the kids, and they were cold.
Okay, so for those that can't hear because of the microphone, the mother had noticed some change in behavior about 3 weeks ago, and she showed up on Friday with the kids, and they were cold, and shivering and not appropriately dressed. So apparently it became a crisis point somewhere in that time frame.
So were they literally wandering out in the field, out in the elements?
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yes.
How close to Crystal Lake were they when they were found?
Pretty close, because I believe at one point we have information that the mom went down to have a drink at the lake. So they were in proximity.
Go ahead.
Jump in here for a second. Talking about the family trying to connect with services.
The mom went to have a drink by the lake.
They were in proximity, not appropriately dressed. So apparently it became a crisis point somewhere in that time frame.
So were they literally wandering out in the field, out in the elements?
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yes.
How close to Crystal Lake were they when they were found?
Pretty close, because I believe at one point we have information that the mom went down to have a drink at the lake. So they were in proximity.
Go ahead.
Jump in here for a second. Talking about the family trying to connect with services. Was that the problem, or was the issue that you all couldn't find her? Was there a drone out there looking for these folks? So
Well,
I'm asking two different questions.
yeah.
Do you know how many contacts or efforts were made to connect with the available services is one, and then the other one is, in the effort to search for them, what resources were deployed by your department?
From our side, we're not called about a person or kids in crisis. We just would get an occasional call, hey, there's somebody in the area that doesn't look like they're appropriately dressed. And deputies would go there and look, and they weren't there. So we didn't have anything on our radar about a particular mom or 3 kids or a crisis. Just, hey, you might be aware somebody's on the street and they look like they're cold. In terms of the family, it's my understanding the family was trying to get her into counseling, and she fled. She refused.
Did they connect with any of these services through CMH? Like,
I don't think they got to that point because she was refusing. I don't think they can't complete the second step without the first saying, okay, I'll go.
So how was this preventable, really?
It was preventable if we all communicate with each other. I mean, at that point when the family knew a crisis was developing, if they call us or call these phone numbers, then we would have popped up assets to look for the kids and the mom. We would have known it was something more than just maybe somebody was walking down the street and didn't have a coat on.
Did I just say that earlier? And I think somebody else said in the chat room earlier too. Even though people still probably gonna say that was insensitive or whatnot, but I get what he was saying. It could have been preventable because she would have went and got the help. Then, say the kids could have been saved or whatnot, Listening to him, he's like, the family would have gave us a call, we probably could have got to it sooner, and rather than later or whatnot. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. And I guess when they was trying to go at her hard about getting the help, maybe the pressure got to her and she just took off with the children. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is, you know, like I always tell y'all, just when you think you heard the worst story, the worst is yet to come.
Big difference when you find out that she may have been out there with the kids for days and she's in a mental health crisis. We would have deployed a huge amount of assets had there been that communicative process where family members and us and mental health all had the complete picture without it.
Had deputies seen the family, then they could have done something. They just couldn't find these people.
Yeah, and we didn't even know who they were. At that point, again, it was just, hey, there's somebody walking down the street and they're not wearing a coat and it's super cold.
And the family members didn't feel comfortable calling 911 to ask for your help?
I can't answer that for them, but they didn't.
Sheriff, can we talk about the little girl? What was her inkling to go for help? Did she express that to investigators at all? Or I guess kudos to her for...
Yeah, they all laid down. Mom told them to lay down and rest, and they all laid down in the field. The girl that survived woke up. No one else did.
Can you talk a little bit about her husband? What do we know about her late husband who had been murdered?
I don't have a lot of information about him.
Do we have an ID on him? Do we don't have a name?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we can get that to you.
Do you have any other triggered the mental health crisis?
In terms of what started from, as I said, as he said 3 weeks ago, the mom noticed a change. We don't know what was the triggering for that change because we never had any communication and mental health services never had any dialogue. So none of us in the room had it on any of our radar. Sure. And that goes again to the point where, you know, a good councilwoman said, you know, we all have to have hard conversations about mental health. She said it to me in my office. And the community has to work together to make sure people that are in crisis or going in crisis or have had trauma, have had PTSD, have issues that are challenging them, know we all got to talk to each other and find the path forward.
So the family tells me that the children's dad was murdered in November 2021. Does there need to be extra resources for crime victims or survivors of such trauma too?
Yeah, I mean, especially, yeah, without question. And that's something we always encourage and try to provide. But again, that goes to resources. I mean, I'd love to be able to assign follow-up to everybody that's ever been a victim of a serious crime. I know there's different funding sources for it. There's some within the prosecutor's office and other spots. But, you know, in Common Ground, you know, there's Vine. I was on a national work group on that. But there could be more. I mean, when you're a mom with 3 kids and the father of your kids has been murdered and you've got things going on, there needs to be more integration of those services.
Are you talking about early intervention? Because at the stage she was under last week, she wasn't going to be inclined to reach out for any kind of help.
Right.
Even if she was in a mental capacity where she could, it sounds like she wasn't there.
And if mom noticed that there was something off, something changing, and she felt comfortable and even knew the phone number, maybe that's the time for a phone call. And then, you know, there's a collaborative, okay, what can we do now to intervene to help in this situation?
Well, the comfort is the word that you're using. If she's comfortable, and that suggests a disconnect, which I've covered for 9 months now in the city. There are folks who aren't comfortable making that call.
Well, if it's not to us, we're talking call mental health services, call anybody. That's what we're saying. We have to have that hard conversation in all communities. You know, cops were always, well, I'm tough. I don't need anybody to talk to. And, you know, the councilwoman spoke to how, and you can speak for yourself on that.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Go ahead. You spoke very eloquently in my office about that.
Good afternoon. So we have to start having candid conversations about mental health, especially in the African American community, because in the past we were not always taught that mental health is an asset. Sometimes you're mislabeled when you call. Sometimes you're scared. In the past, you've been shunned when you say you're having a mental health crisis. And so what I believe is when we start having real conversations and making mental health a normal conversation, that's how you can change the community. Because what normally happens is when you have a mental health crisis, you are scared.
Brian, remember what I said earlier when I specifically spoke to you? Remember I said earlier, us as men, anything in this gray area right here, we don't talk about it you know, we just suck it up and live with it, you know, because what she said, you know, what we think, we scared of what people gonna say, or how people look at us, or how people judge us, and this, that, and the third. Remember I said that earlier when I spoke specifically to you. But now I'm saying this to all of you. It could be anybody, you know, with something like this, you know. It's probably not an easy task to talk to somebody and say, hey, I'm having this type of issues, you know, because they too worried about what the public will think about them, or even their own family and friends, how they would treat them, or if they would shun them because they have a mental disability, you know. And she said it right there, clear as water. She said it clear as water. So a lot of stuff is not easy to talk about. Even we talk about domestic relationships. Thank you, Brian. You said it perfect. We'd be wusses and everything. And like my man, the Real AK said, a lot of time when it goes on with men speak about it, they probably won't believe us. You know, they look at us as we supposed to suck it up. And just like he said earlier about the police, yeah, I'm big and strong. I ain't got to worry about that. Man, look, you could be the strongest, strongest man in the world, man. Everybody got stuff that they deal with. It may not be as bad as others or whatnot, but still, everybody got things that they deal with. Just because you big and strong, especially because you a cop, that don't mean shit. You could be a celebrity and still dealing with stuff, okay? And I'm glad she came out and said that, because she said it perfectly. Amen? She said it perfectly.
Because you don't want to be shunned, you don't want to be mislabeled, you don't want to be ridiculed. And sometimes, especially as an African-American woman, we are taught to be strong. It's called the strong women syndrome. And when you have the strong woman syndrome, you don't want to ask anybody for assistance. And then you get to the place where you feel like it's not worth it. And so what we have to keep reiterating is that mental health is real. It is something that is normal. It is something that is treatable. It is something that is valid. And most importantly, that you can get the right cognitive therapy or the medication that you need to balance it out. As a person who deals with a mental health crisis in my own life, I constantly have to make sure I understand that it is about the long-term healing. And that only starts when we have real, candid conversations and not shun away from those uncomfortable moments.
Could you identify yourself, spelling name as well, please?
Yes, my name is Melanie, Melanie, Rutherford, Rutherford.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was your job title, man?
I'm the councilwoman for District 1 where this incident occurred.
Thank you.
Sheriff, I had two questions, please, in regard to if they were underdressed or seen walking underdressed. Did the kids have coats? How were they found? What were they wearing? What were they not wearing? Do we know?
No winter attire, right? Mom had a coat, and I believe the daughter took the coat off of mom when she came to which was pretty amazing.
No hats, no gloves, no coats.
Generally, no.
And can you provide any more information in regard to the issue the mother was grappling with about fearing people were targeting her or her family? Do you have any context of how long she may have been thinking this at family settings, for weeks, or was this a recent development, or any clarity you can give?
Well, all that we have so far is that the mother said a change in behavior was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So obviously mental health crisis, and not unusual in a mental health crisis for people to have paranoia, to have the fear somebody's watching me, somebody's trying to kill me. That is pretty usual, quite frankly, in what we come across in the street.
Well, especially after a family member's murdered, I would think that would heighten the fear.
Absolutely.
Is there any possibility the fear was legitimate because the trial just happened?
We don't see any connection to that fear being realized, and it's my understanding that the family just thought she was having a crisis. There was nothing tangible.
What were the ages of the kids?
3 and 9. Oh, and the surviving child was 10, yes.
Could you spell the children's names, please?
Yes. So the 9-year-old was Kyle Kyle Milton, Milton 9, and then Malik Malik H3, also last name of Milton, and then the young lady in the hospital, she is 10. They were in a field.
Was there several on that property?
They were in a field.
Are there any cameras out there that would tell you when they went out there? Are there signs that say that there's cameras in the area?
Nothing that we've got so far.
Was one of the vehicles left there, their vehicle?
No.
So they, and distance from their apartment, did they walk there?
They had been walking all over the area.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we know how far from their apartment to where they were found?
Maybe a mile.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir.
Sure. Do you guys, Mayor?
Obviously, this is a horrible, heart-wrenching tragedy. I want to just reiterate what others have said, which is please seek help if you're out there and you're struggling with mental illness, please seek help. If you know someone who is struggling with mental illness and not seeking help, please reach out to the providers of mental.
And that's what I said at the beginning of the show. I wanted to relay that message to y'all before I started this show. You know, look, there ain't nothing wrong with getting help, man. If anybody look at you different because you need help with mental situations or whatnot, I mean, fuck them, you know. My thing is this: people poke fun at what they don't understand. Amen. They poke fun of what they don't understand. Okay. When we was kids, we were little knuckleheads. Growing up, when we saw kids who was less fortunate, and we thought something was wrong with them, you know, we picked on them. So let's not say we never done it. We was kids, but we was kids though, and they understand what we was doing. Until our guardians told us, hey, you don't do that, because they could be you growing up, or when you have children, when you get older, they could be your child with their same disabilities. So if you don't understand something, it's best that you shut your mouth, okay? Or the most famous thing that they used to say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all, okay? That's what they taught us as children growing up, okay? So we were children, yeah, we were some mean son of a guns, because what we did in our household, we saw that it was normal. But when we saw something different in somebody else's household, we made fun of it, okay? We made fun of it. But as you get older, you get wiser. As you talk to wiser, older people, and they tell you or try to guide you down the right path. One of them old saying that they always say, I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink, okay? I can lead you there, but it's up to you to drink to get an understanding what's going on around you, okay? So, hey, he's saying the same thing I said in the beginning of the show. Please get help if you can. You can't make them, but you can encourage them. And I feel like as long as you keep on encouraging them, you may make a break in there some way, somehow. But unfortunately, that ain't what happened with this case. And I agree with what the guy said earlier. If you notice her behaviors were strange 3 weeks prior, maybe somebody should have gave a call. Just maybe. And she probably could have got the help that she needed. Just maybe. Just maybe.
Mental health services on behalf of the person who's struggling. There are services out there that you don't have to have insurance to access. So I really do, as we seek to prevent this kind of tragedy from occurring again, I just want to emphasize how important it is, if you're out there and you know somebody going through this, or you yourself are going through this, please seek help. There's no shame in this. We really do have to get past the stigma around mental health. When people have a broken leg, they don't hesitate to seek medical help, and mental illness is no different. So please seek help whenever it's needed.
Let's talk about warming centers, or of the ability to get warm. There were more resources 5-10 years ago. There aren't as approximately there are fewer than 200 emergency beds available for people who are homeless. Not that in this case that would necessarily apply. The city's been talking for months about affordable housing and creating an environment where people who are marginally housed can find a place to be. Are there any innovations there? I would not probably have helped this lady because she had a home, but what is the city doing for other people? You just broke up a big, not you personally, but there was a big camp over on Union Street that in the fall was taken down, and some people were offered resources, but they didn't accept those resources, are presumably still on the street.
There are resources available for those who are homeless. Again, this is a situation where sadly this family, while they had a home, apparently the mother was struggling with mental illness, and that really, from all of the reports that we've received so far, that really is the crux of this situation. Is it was a situation of untreated mental illness, and that's why I really want to emphasize the importance of seeking help for those who are mentally ill.
Hello, again, I'm County Commissioner Angela Powell, and I want to join in with my colleagues in this tragic situation. And I just also want to just put extra emphasis on family and friends to please intervene. You know, we have individuals, we just had a case last year where we had a young lady who was locked up, and she was offered resources within the jail, but she declined. So again, we know that that is another issue with mental health, with individuals fighting mental health issues. So I just want to again stress to all individuals, families, friends, please intervene. So it won't be on your heart and your head that you didn't step in time to try to save individuals. So please, as a community, let's all step in and try to help anybody to get any assistance, because I do know for a fact, as a county commissioner, Oakland County has several resources to help mental health individuals, homelessness, everything. We are locked in step with our sheriff department in making sure, even with our city elected officials, and making sure that those resources are here when we hear about them. So please just keep us informed, but also please, family and friends, step in to help people that you may see is struggling with something. We all have, especially since COVID. Post-COVID has put a whole nother layer on mental health. So please, thank you.
Ms. Wilson, who ended up in jail and is still in the county jail, has Ruth declined any kind of help? They can't even do a really proper evaluation on her, from what I understand. It's not the story I wrote, Aileen Greenblatt did it. But you can't force someone to take that sort of support. You have somebody in a safe place right now who's rejecting the mental health services available to her.
I understand that, but
is there another step that needs to be taken? You know,
the next step is just to continue to offer it, and somehow we help this lady to take the offerings of the resources being offered, so that it's not on our hands, it's not on the family hands, that they did not provide the resources that she needed, or to even do the evaluation and to do anything that's necessary. And I know the sheriff department has tried everything. Prosecutor's attorney, we've tried everything. So at this point, we just got to keep that lady in prayer and just hope that she will eventually grasp onto those resources and get her some help, because clearly she needs it.
And I just want to ask one more thing. Just, you mentioned you're urging family to do things. It sounds like Ms. Kennedy's family did do what they knew they were able to do under the circumstances. There's no blame being assessed to the family members.
No, it's not. No blaming. Nope. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just trying to forewarn all individuals to please just step in. One call can go a long way, and you don't even know how that will help a person. So I'm not pointing fingers. The family did what they could do up until that point, and I commend them for what they thought that they were doing to assist in any way, shape, or form that they can. But I'm just also doing an extra calling to make sure that everybody step in, especially with the trying times we are experiencing now. Thank you.
Sheriff, I apologize. I had one last question. You alluded to it, and I'm sorry if you repeat yourself. The 10-year-old girl, her condition as last we know it, and are there family members she will go to, or does she become adoptive services, child protective services, or what happens?
She is in stable condition, and when she's discharged from the hospital, she'll be with her family, family members.
By stable, you mean non-life threatening?
Life
threatening?
You know, you don't know until you know, but it appears that way.
Is she facing any amputations or anything like that, thinking about being so cold?
Nothing at this point. She appears to be recovering well. You know, that's our hope and prayer, obviously. And to your point, you know, again, that goes to, it's not finger pointing, but it needs to be a more cohesive, communicative effort. And it's not just this, it's everything. I mean, we've talked about this with school threats. If a kid hears something at school and tells his parents and they don't tell the school or tell us, that's an issue. That's a challenge. So we have to communicate and then make sure that that child, if he's got something going on, gets the mental health resource or whatever he's got going on. If we aren't all looped in and talking to each other as a community, people and problems will fall through the crack.
I have one more question for you folks. What's your capacity? You know, we're going to write these stories, and you may see an uptick in calls from family members or people who are experiencing crises. What's your capacity to help them over the next few days, or even over the long term?
We're ready.
What does that mean? Can you help 10 people or 150?
I mean, you really can't quantify it. It's because it's the nature of the crisis service, and you can't say, yeah, there's different programs and there are different variables to it. So it's really hard to say that, you know, we can serve 10, we can serve 100, we can serve 1,000. But we accept the challenges. We see ebbs and flows with the calls that comes in, with the call volumes. So we are staffed, we're ready for it, Common Ground is ready for it. So just give us a call.
I think people might not understand too, if someone's not lucid and they're a danger to their children, they don't need to be willing to get help.
Right.
Can
Exactly.
you talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit?
if they're a danger to themselves or others, that's something that we can do a committal on. And so I guess in the communication phase, if the family sees something's going into a dangerous phase for that person or their children, that's when the communication has to occur on a broad base, either with mental health providers or us, so that intervention can occur.
I think families might be afraid because they don't want someone who's going through a mental health crisis to lose their children long term. Can you talk about that?
I understand the fear, but look at the outcome, right? So you have to balance any decision with, we have to make sure that they're okay today so there will be a tomorrow.
All right, guys. That was the conference. And I don't know if y'all heard that last question, but that was pretty good.
I was pinned between
I like
two
what
cars.
she said. Well, she said a lot of people are afraid to report it because they don't want the other person to lose their children. And I think that was very good that she said that, because you probably got some that's like that. You know, I know something going on, but I don't want her children get taken away and blah this and blah that. And I can understand that too. I can understand it, but still, just like he said though, in a situation like that, you want to be safe than sorry. You want to be safe than sorry. All right? So, would you want the kids to get to a safe place or whatnot? If you feel like their life is in danger, you see that the woman is acting erratic, till y'all able to get her some help. And then once you get the help, you know, the kids will go back and see again. Or y'all just going to sit there and watch the woman or the father keep acting erratic until they actually attack the children and kill the children. Then what's going to end up happening? You're going to start saying, man, I saw this. Man, I wish I could. I wish I had did this. I wish I could have did that. I would have done this. I would have did that. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You would have been in one of them situations. Okay? Okay? But I like she pointed that out, and I like his response to it. You will want them to see a tomorrow, and you will want them to see their parents tomorrow. Just step in and try to get them help. And I told y'all, somebody ain't gonna like the fact that he was saying that, you know, this could be preventable. The lady was saying that, I guess she trying to say, I guess she feel like they was blaming her family or whatnot. I don't think they're blaming the family. All they pointing out is that if you saw this a few weeks ago, maybe somebody should have called us and we probably could have came out and tried to help the situation. All right. And maybe them children would have still been alive today. I don't call that blaming the family. I don't call that blaming the family at all. I understand exactly what he was saying. And one of y'all asked the question in the chat room, if she had a job, what are her employees were saying about her behavior if they noticed it? What were they saying? Okay? And we got to get over this when people stating facts, they feel like they're being attacked. When people are stating facts about something, people feel like they're being attacked. I never understood that, why people do that. Other than you want them type of people that says, or you got that mindset that it's everybody else's fault except for yours. So anybody tell the truth on you, you feel like you're being attacked. And I'm not talking about this family, I'm speaking in general now. Anybody's telling the truth, you always feel like you're being attacked. And I get a lot of us don't like it. We don't like to hear it. But at the same time, though, somewhere down the road, you're going to appreciate it. You're going to see it for yourself. All right? Well, unless you just one of the type of people, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you just don't give a fuck. Okay? Unless you just one of them types, you just don't give a damn. Now, I don't know if it's a difference in this, or maybe y'all can hear me out with this. There's a difference in telling somebody the truth to critique what they're doing to help them make a better decision versus is there somebody who's telling the truth just to be an asshole? Is there a difference, or is the truth regardless of what? We got to think about that too. You got people who like to be assholes and just can't wait to say something, even though it's factual, but they say it to you in an asshole manner. So, is it the same thing? My sister had an episode and she wouldn't let us help her. My baby brother had a talk with her and she agreed to get help. I thank God and my brother for her healing process. Well, amen to that. Amen to that. But yeah, I asked earlier, what do y'all think about that? Some people who tell the truth on you for the purpose of critiquing and help you make better decisions. You got people who do it just to be an asshole, to be a dick towards you. But is it still the same thing, regardless they being a dick towards you or not? I need to take me a halls or something. She's already the truth at all times, but people don't like that if it's a correction thing. Brian said, who wants to be a good Samaritan when most of the time it brings trouble for yourself? Anybody else? What do y'all think about that? Anybody else? But at the end of the day, again, people will have to understand, and that's what the lady said. The one of the ladies who asked the question said to the lady with the glasses, you know, you can't force nobody to get help. You sure can't. You can't force nobody grown to do nothing. Just put it plain and simple. You can't force nobody grown to do anything. Okay? You can't force them to get help. Okay? You can't force them to go to work. You can't force a grown person to do anything. Okay? Only thing you can force them to do, if they stand with you, you get tired of them, tell them get the fuck out. That's the only thing you can do. What up, Nate? That's the only thing you can do. But other than that, though, I mean, you can't force no grown person to do anything. Some people do have a heart to help, but are made to feel like they are nosy or a hater. And you know what? And I hate that, you know, when you do speak facts, people say you a hater because you speaking facts. I mean, how's I'm hating on you? How's I'm hating on you? You know? How's that hating on anybody? If it's something that you actually did, and you had a consequence that came behind it. This is something that you actually did. This is something you actually said, which led to you and whoever get to fighting or whatever case you want to put it. If it's something that you did or what you said, your action caused a problem. But when somebody called that out and said, hey, you know, this will cause you and that person to do X, Y, and Z. No, it wasn't. No, you just hating. How the hell that hating, man, when we seen what happened? We either seen what happened or we going by the story that you told us what happened, okay? It was your fault. You did it. Had a play cousin. He was like that. Did a lot of stuff. It was his fault that stuff was happening to him. You trying to tell him, hey, that's your fault, dude. That's your fault. That's your fault. And he was trying to come up with every excuse possible to try to make it seem like it wasn't his fault. And then say, man, you just don't understand, man. How many times y'all heard this? Man, you just don't understand, man, or you just don't know the whole story. You mean to tell me you talked my ear off about 10 to 15 minutes trying to tell me about this damn story and you still ain't told me the whole damn story? That's the point of me listening to you, for you to tell me the whole damn story. But just because I don't agree with what you're saying and it sounds like it's your fault, really there's nothing you could change in that story to say otherwise. So what is the whole story? And then keep in mind, the other person or persons that was involved in this situation has their side of the story too. But you know how a lot of people is? I want you to be on my side, so I'm just going to tell you enough for the story so you can believe me and have hatred towards the next person. Look, I'm my own man. If I'm going to hate somebody or dislike them, it's going to be something that I dislike them about. Not because they did something to you. Okay? I'm not going to hate anybody or dislike anybody because they did something to you. I don't care. I don't give a damn how cool we are. That's you and that person beef, not mine. And I know a lot of people got that gang mentality where if they don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. Nah, come on, man. I ain't did nothing to you. But I get it because a lot of people don't like the conflict of interest. They feel like it's a conflict of interest, so they rather just leave you alone too. And I understand that. I do. But you can't sit up here and dislike nobody because somebody you cool with had a falling out with them, and they don't like her no more. So all of a sudden, you're going to take it upon yourself and say, I don't like them either. Fuck them. Why? I don't even know you. I ain't done nothing to you. And the little time I did know you, I haven't done a thing to you. So why you don't like me? Because this motherfucker don't like me? Really? We all are grown, and we got our own mindset. Use it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for listening. And again, if y'all can, man, you got anybody who dealing with this, family member dealing with this, the best thing you could do is try to encourage them to get help. You can't force them, but you can encourage them. All right? And just like Miss D said, you'll be amazed with your encouragement how far it can go. How far it can go. All right? Just give them encouragement. Y'all take care. Y'all be safe out there, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.